People are just going to be losing their mind for the next couple months, I guess. Probably even longer than that. Probably for the next 4 years. Probably forever. People are just going to be losing their mind in a spiral for the next 50 years. Well, that's what I keep hearing from Democrats. It's going to be until 2050 or even 2080 before we can get out of this red wave that's just going to last forever because we suck. Well, a teacher gives insane lecture after Trump win. And I think that we need to get politics out of schools if we can't handle it. If we can't handle talking to kids about politics, we just got to pull them out. No more of it. Leave it at home. Causing too many problems. From Amala Ekpunobi.
Now, we've seen some crazy reactions to Trump winning this election. We've seen people screaming, crying, breaking up with their significant others. But the reactions that really hit home for me and make me truly have to say something are the ones that involve children. I've seen mothers crying with their children about their loss of abortion rights, which we all know is not even
Okay. All right.
true, but we're not going to get into that today. But one that's really hit me, and
I'll get into it real quick. It's not fucking true. Leaving it up to the states. If California wants abortion, they're gonna have abortion. Colorado wants abortion, they're gonna have abortion. Florida don't want to have abortion, they're not gonna have abortion. That's how it's gonna go.
I feel like we need to respond to today is a teacher who decided to film herself addressing her students, her black students, in the wake of the news that Trump has won this last election. Now let's hear from her and see what she has to say. Now, she's pretty active on TikTok. She posts all these different videos of her talking to her classroom. So this is what she had to say on election day. It says, POV, it's the morning after election day. All my students are black.
We don't have the time. Look at the wall. Y'all see where we are. And even for my friends in the green, and eventually my friends who will make.
She thinks she's in a movie. She thinks this is the Hunger Games and she's the hero. But guess what? The person that we thought was the leader in the Hunger Games, that was the hero, ends up being a villain too.
In the blue.
Spoilers.
Unfortunately, because of the color of your skin, you gotta be 3 times as good.
Okay, I don't know about the color of your skin part. That shit's a little racist. But I agree with the 3 times as good thing, that you need to be 3 times better than you are now. I think that whole I'm doing the best that I can do is bullshit. That I think you need to do better than your best.
We don't have time for this anymore.
She's trying to grow revolutionaries is what she's doing.
I don't have time for interruptions. I don't have time for y'all to be unfocused because y'all need to get y'all educated. This matters.
You know 100% what she's doing right now? She's not creating revolutionaries for herself. She's creating revolutionaries for the side that's against her. Because guess what? I don't know if you know this, but do you remember being in school? Do you remember thinking the teachers were cool? If you did, you were lame. Because the normal kids and the cool kids didn't like the teachers. They thought they were lame. I mean, you could be friendly with the teachers, but if you were like friends with a teacher that everybody didn't like, you were lame. And this seems like a teacher that nobody likes. Seems really preachy and lectury, and like, you gotta do what I want to do because this is how I view it. No chewing gum in my class. Random notebook check kind of lady, makes you keep up with notes, and it's a grade, and it's 100 points.
And I gotta make sure that y'all are prepared to be 3 times as good. To step into any room and understand that you belong to be there. It's serious.
Ooh, she getting upset. They're really not gonna like this teacher. They're like, well, does that mean more work? Does that mean more homework? More learning? Cause they ain't about that. Trust me.
Wearing skin like
You're just pushing them away.
Okay. I don't even want to know where she went with the rest of that rant. And luckily, we don't have the videos of where she went with that rant. I have so much to say about this. First of all, this woman should not be anywhere near a classroom. If you cannot handle your emotions and you are melting down like this in front of students, you are bringing yourself to tears in front of students over election results, you need to see your way out. You should not be a teacher. And at the very least, you should have not been in class this day.
And people don't care. Like, the kids don't care. Really, it's the opposite. Well, I guess they do care. They would care for you to not be acting like that and just sit down and shut up like you're telling them to do. Just do your job.
Take a self-care day, take a little bit of time off, throw a substitute in that room who can handle their emotions before you decide to go in here and address kids. Now, she points out the fact that all of her students are black, as if that's supposed to mean anything, as if you're supposed to address that room differently. And it's absolutely ludicrous that this is the sort of tone that she chooses to take with these black students. I'm trying to take my adult mind and morph it back into what it would have been in childhood. In hearing this message from a teacher, the tone in her voice is instilling fear, I can only imagine, for the children listening to her. And I don't know what grade
I doubt that. They probably think she's super lame. I bet half of them like Trump too. Because they're like, man, this guy, he's got a mouth on him. Basically telling everybody, fuck you. And they're trying to put him in prison, and they're like, my dad went to prison. Not trying to be racist, that's like the reality of it.
they're in, unfortunately, but she does post other content of her in the classroom that doesn't look a lot like this. But I imagine these young children have to be a little anxious hearing the things that they're hearing, telling children over and over again, we don't have time, we don't have time.
Yeah, the lame kids are going to be on her side, but that's probably like 10%. The other 50% don't care, and there are about probably 40%, 30% who are actively against what this teacher is saying. And it's just pissing them off more.
Have to work 3 times as hard, knowing damn well that that's not true, although she's convinced that it is, has to bring anxiety for children. These students, just like any other, of any other background, race, religion, should be able to go to school each day and lead a normal life where they can breathe, they can do their work, they can learn their math, reading, writing, science, and go on in this world, in this country, and be treated equally. But this teacher is deciding to treat them differently, is deciding to tell them that they have to work 3 times as hard in this country to get to the same place as what? Their white counterparts? We know it's not true. I mean, especially now. There's preferential treatment even given to black students, although that might change on the other end of a Trump presidency. So maybe that's what she's referring to. But this is not the message you give to students, and you certainly don't scream it at them as you are brought to tears talking about this election. Also, she doesn't know where these students lie politically, where their families lie politically. You could very well have a ton of conservative kids in here, or kids who are part of conservative families.
Or who are just completely non-political, who want to stay out of it, because keep your politics out of schools.
Who are happy about this election result. And now she's coming in and berating them, saying that their life is going to be harder because Donald Trump is president. There is nothing good about this. When you are a teacher and you enter a classroom, you leave a lot of who you are personally and your personal beliefs outside of the school. If you want to talk about that stuff, you talk about that with your family, with your friends, with your peers. You do not bring that to students. And it's so unfortunate now that black students, in particular, live in this reality of being told that they have to work harder. It just applies so much pressure to a situation that does not necessitate it. And I was a young student who at some point was told that because I was half black and because I'm a woman, life is going to be so much harder for me. I have to work so much harder. And I carried that as a weight on myself for I don't know how long, until I realized that it wasn't exactly true. And I hope these students one day get the message that what this teacher told them is not correct. Because I imagine they have a very deep relationship with their teacher if she's willing to go to this sort of personal place in front of them in the classroom. I imagine she's told them a lot of things about where they lie in society and about her own political beliefs. And I hope that one day they can actually have a neutral ground in the classroom. And my goodness, does this woman need to see her way out?
True. All of that's true. I didn't know where to stop because she was on a little bit of a rant. Any teacher that's like this needs to get out. Like, either Republican, Democrat, doesn't matter. If you're crazy and talking about politics like that to kids, you need to get out. I mean, you can talk about politics in the past of what people thought, not what you think about them. I think that just needs to get out of there.
That's all I gotta say. And I would say that if a conservative teacher went into the classroom and said, this is the best day ever, Donald Trump won the presidency, this is what we're gonna do, da 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 da, and started ranting at these kids in the opposite direction. None of it is okay. It is not your job as a teacher. And I think she's posting this thinking that she's done the right thing, that she should be cheered on for speaking this way to her students, when in fact...
Yeah, and we shouldn't be doing like modern movements of any kind, like pride stuff. We shouldn't be doing any kind of like celebrations that aren't official government celebrations, unless they're, you know, local stuff. Schools shouldn't be getting on these online trends, because that just promotes kids to be addicted to trends, and that leads to other trends. You need to get kids offline, pretty much. You need to get kids offline. You need to get teachers offline, apparently.
It is the exact opposite. And to think that this is happening probably in schools everywhere is just astounding to me. But I had to show you this video, and there's so many more. As I said, there's parents talking to their kids in this way. I saw videos of 5-year-old girls who are crying with their mother, saying that they're going to be stripped of their rights and their personhood in this country.
Even if they were, why would you tell them that? You're just a terrible person. There's a special place for people like you. We'll talk about that in about, I don't know, 100 years or so. Maybe less than that, maybe more.
I saw parents talking to their kids about, in school it's going to be a solemn day and maybe you need to hug your fellow students and cry it out over Trump becoming president. Kids are supposed to be innocent. You can feel all these things as a parent and really marinate on how awful it is that Trump has become president. Don't put that on your children. Don't put it on your students. They deserve to have neutral ground somewhere. They deserve to have a life of innocence. They deserve to be kids. Let the kids be kids. And I know.
And teach them history. Don't teach them politics. You can teach them the past politics, but teach them history before they get into politics, and let them get into politics on their own, so they know what they're talking about whenever they get into it, and they know what certain government systems lead to, what certain actions lead to, what the signs are through society of certain events to occur.
I know people are going to find some way to blame this on Donald Trump. But the blame lies in these adults who do not have enough emotional regulatory skills to keep it within them and talk to kids in the way that they are meant to be talked to. But guys, those are just my thoughts. Drop your thoughts on this video down below. As always, if you like this video, like, subscribe, click the notification bell to be notified every single time I post a video for you guys, which is every day. And if you disagree with anything I said in this video, do get out in the comments down below, but do so respectfully. We encourage healthy debate on this channel. And my goodness, let the kids be kids, y'all.
These people aren't spouting facts, they're spouting feelings, and feelings lie. There is very little truth in feelings. I could walk into a store and get anxiety because there's too many people around. Why do we get anxiety? It's like a survival instinct, because we think we could get hurt or something bad is gonna happen. Nothing bad's gonna happen. Why do I get anxiety? Feelings lie to you. And these people are just projecting out their feelings and not caring about what the words are. They just know what they feel. They feel like their rights are being stripped from them because their media is lying to them and is actually the one who is stripping rights from people. I'm not gonna get into that. I don't want to get political anymore. Oh, this will probably be the last one. Well, no, I got one more. And it's about immigrants. But I don't know if that one's really political. That's just kind of a disaster that's occurring. Homeschool your kids. Get them offline.